Hey everyone, welcome back to another weapon analysis video. This patch is introducing 4 weapons to the gacha pool, although only 3 of them are new weapons. We're getting 2 new catalysts, one 5-star and one 4-star. Alongside that, we're getting a new 4-star polearm. Finally, the 4-star sword, Moonweaver's Dawn, was something we got for free in a world quest. It's being added to the gacha as a way to get those refinements, but I already covered this sword in my Luna 1 weapons and artifacts video, so go check that one out if you're interested to learn more about the sword. As for this video, we're just going to focus on the other 3 weapons. We're going to cover what these weapons provide and who can best use them. As usual, disclaimers, timestamps, social media links, music credits, and a link to my Discord server are all down below. Without further ado, let's get started. Our first weapon is the 5-star Catalyst, Reliquary of Truth. It has a 542 base attack and an 88.2% crit damage substat. Its passive grants an 8% crit rate bonus by default. If you cast a skill, you gain 80 EM for 12 seconds. If you deal Lunar Bloom damage, you gain 24% crit damage for 4 seconds. If both bonuses are active, this increases by 50%, which means a total of 120 EM and 36% crit damage. This weapon is Nefer's signature. As an EM scaling LeBloom DPS, she's going to be able to easily use the Catalyst and all its corresponding stats. With that being said, she's the only one who can use it. And you might be thinking, Spider, Llama can use it too, she also deals LeBloom damage! Here's the issue. Llama casting her hold skill will take effect before the LeBloom hit occurs. This instance only occurs once, and is what's going to trigger the crit damage effect, but the actual hit won't benefit from the crit damage bonus. So at the end of the day, Llama's LeBloom only benefits from the skill's EM bonus. Meanwhile, the rest of her regular Dendro damage benefits from the crit buff, which is a much smaller portion of her damage. On top of that, she only has 4 seconds of uptime on the passive, so you're really not getting much value. For other users, it's basically the same issue. LeBloom isn't going to be a source of damage, so the only buffs you get are the 88% crit damage substat, the 8% crit rate passive, and the 80 EM buff. Any DPS can use the crit passives, but the near best alternatives are EM DPS units. If you're running, say, a Vape team, on-fielders like Yanfei or Mualani can utilize these buffs. Meanwhile, off-fielders like Lisa, Yai, and Nahida can use this for Quicken, since that reaction benefits from EM and crit. In the case of Lunar Charged or LC teams, there is a use where non-DPS units with Electro, Hydro, or Anemo can use this weapon. Swirl and regular EC are EM only, so it's not really possible to use the crit stats unless you're going for personal damage. But Lunar Charged is a crit scaling reaction, so you can utilize the entirety of the weapon stats to boost your character's LC output. In this niche scenario, any catalyst with these 3 elements can perform a little bit better with this weapon. Our next weapon is a 4-star catalyst, Dawning Frost. It's going to have a 510 base attack alongside a 55.1% crit damage substat. The passives are all EM based. Charge attacks increase EM by 72 to 144 for 10 seconds, while elemental skill hits increase EM by 48 to 96 for 10 seconds. Compared to the 5-star variant, this weapon is a lot more universally friendly, and since it also provides a mix of crit damage and EM, we can basically run through the same listing as the previous catalyst. An important thing to note, however, is that you'll have to trigger these effects while on field. This makes it slightly less effective on off-fielders who remain off-field for a longer period of time. The first good user of this weapon is Nefer. Her main source of damage is LeBloom, which is EM and crit scaling, and her charge attack and skill still hit frequently enough to trigger the weapon passives. This makes Dawning Frost a very strong 4-star alternative for her. Yanfei is once again on the list, especially since her main sources of damage are charge attacks. Not only will she perform much better in her Vape teams, it's a lot more comfortable to trigger the effects compared to other characters. When it comes to off-fielders like Lisa, Nahida, or Yai, you'll have to weave in a charge attack to get the first effect. The skill effects are easy to proc, but once again, the effect can't re-trigger while off-field. In order to maintain uptime, you'll have to swap back in every 10 seconds to refresh it, or you risk partial uptime during your rotation. Revisiting some of the Electro, Hydro, or Anemo characters, especially the EM scaling ones, the EM bonus is much higher compared to the 5-star weapon. Even if you're not running some kind of LC team to make use of the crit buff, the EM buff finds a lot more value in generalized reaction comps. Still, you'll have to weave in a charge attack to make full use of the passive. The final weapon is our 4-star polearm, Sacrificer Staff. It'll have a 620 base attack, the highest for a 4-star weapon. Conversely, its substat is only a 9.2% crit rate bonus. For its passive, hitting enemies with a skill increases attack by 8 to 16% and energy recharge by 6 to 12%. This can max out at 3 stacks, allowing for a total of 24 to 48% attack and 18 to 36% ER. The effect lasts for 6 seconds and can be obtained while off-field. While the crit rate bonus isn't that strong, the passive effects and base attack make up for it pretty well. High base attack scales well with attack percent bonuses, and the passive grants a little over a main stat's worth at R5. It's also going to provide a nice amount of ER, which is strong for units who need a bit of extra energy. Something to note about this weapon, the stack duration is shared, not independent. This actually makes it easier to maximize uptime on the bonus, especially for units where skill hits are a bit more staggered. Okay, let's look at the lineup. First user is Raiden. As someone who dual scales in attack and ER, she'll make great use of the passives for her personal damage. Maybe not so much in Hyperbloom though. Next up is a mixed bag of Emily, Escoffier, and Inefa. All of them deal consistent off-field skill damage, allowing them to build and maintain all the stacks. None of them snapshot either, which is what makes the stat bonuses effective on them. Moving on, Cyno's a unit who can use it pretty well. A common combo in his teams is to cast his skill, then burst, then skill again once a special effect is available. From what the passive shows, there's no cooldown between stack generation. In this rotation, you gain a stack from his first skill, then his special enhanced skill deals an initial hit, which is the second stack. Finally, the extra shockwave hit should allow him to gain the last stack. While he's mostly EM scaling, he still has attack synergy. Additionally, some of his teams have higher ER needs, which the weapon will help address. Rosaria is a unit who has less synergy with the weapon. Her skill hits twice, allowing her to gain 2 stacks, but the cooldown is 6 seconds, the same as the weapon duration. She will barely lose out on that last stack, unless you give her some kind of cooldown reduction. Something that works well with her, however, is her snapshotting mechanic. Even when the stacks are lost, the attack bonus will be maintained for the entirety of her burst. If you run her on Emblem, the ER bonus will also scale into a burst damage bonus. But keep this in mind, the burst damage bonus does not snapshot, so uptime on that is capped out at 6 seconds. Alright, I think that's all the users for the weapon, so I guess we can end the video here. It would seem I forgot about our dear Queen Xiangling. She can snapshot the attack bonus, allowing her to maximize the stat for the entire duration of the Pyronado. In order to do this, you can start a rotation by tossing down Guoba. As you do your setup, Guoba will build up stacks. After he disappears, you'll have 6 seconds to cast Xiangling's burst and snapshot the attack bonus. Similarly to Rosaria, Xiangling can use Emblem to convert her ER into a burst damage bonus, but this will only last for the beginning part of the Pyronado, since that buff is not snapshotable. It may require you to change your rotation a bit, but this is yet another great weapon for the best polearm user in Genshin Impact. Please let me go now. Alright, that's gonna do it for this video. The main winners of this patch are going to be our EM scaling Callus users, so anyone who mains them can see a couple nice options. The polearm is also going to be a very nice alternative for some of your attack scaling units, so you can look forward to that as well. If you enjoyed this video, consider leaving a like and subscribe to support the channel. Let me know in the comments whether you'll be pulling for these weapons and who you plan to use it on. If you'd like to share your own original ideas with our community, then consider joining my Discord server. Thanks again for watching everyone, and I will see you all next time. Bye!